This new information involves two additional victims, now known as Victim 9 and Victim 10. Now, this comes from new information and testimony before the grand jury that has been investigating this case for at least a couple of years. And so after the initial charges, the grand jury continued to hear testimony, and that's how these additional charges came about. This information coming to us from Pennsylvania's Attorney General's office. In this case, they said it was similar to the other alleged victims and fit a pattern of what they call grooming victims on the part of former coach Jerry Sandusky, starting with football games and gifts, and it went on to, according to the Attorney General's office, physical contact that escalated to sexual assaults. Now, the grand jury says that Victim 9 first allegedly encountered Sandusky in about 2004 while he was in that summer camp we've heard about, organized by the Second Mile, the program run by Sandusky, founded by him. In this case, when the victim was 11 or 12 years old. The grand jury says that Sandusky allegedly approached the young man, engaged him in conversation, and said he was interested in spending more time with him. That led to allegedly taking the boy to a number of Penn State football games, giving him gifts, giving him money. Later, the grand jury says that there were overnight stays at Sandusky's home and behavior that included hugging, rubbing, cuddling, and tickling, and initially said viewed by acts of affection, but that then escalated to alleged sexual assaults. And then the grand jury states that this victim also was assaulted in the swimming pool and the jacuzzi of a hotel in State College in that area at times when the pool was not occupied except for these two people. According to the grand jury presentment, Sandusky told Victim 9 that he loved him and cared for him and told him to keep what was happening a secret. Now, in the case of the second additional victim, known as victim number 10, the boy was referred to the Second Mile program in 1997, says the grand jury, when he was about 10 years old, at the recommendation of a counselor who was having trouble at home. This seems to fit the pattern of other alleged victims. Now, Sandusky allegedly approached this boy during a summer camp and later made arrangements to take him to a number of football games at Penn State, where the boy played football at various locations on campus, went to tailgate parties, and also spent time at Sandusky's home. The grand jury said that there were wrestling sessions, what they're calling, in the basement of Sandusky's home that eventually led to incidents of sodomy on the boy. Now, Victim 10 also detailed alleged incidents that occurred at a swimming pool on the Penn State campus, along with an encounter in a car where Sandusky allegedly exposed himself and asked for another sexual act to be performed upon him.
Do we know, Susan?
This boy allegedly also received gifts, and Sandusky told him that he loved him. So these four new charges are counts of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, 2 counts of unlawful contact with a minor. These are first-degree felonies, each punishable by up to 20 years in prison and $25,000 fines. He's also charged with 1 count of indecent assault, 2 counts of endangering the welfare of children, and these are third-degree felonies. He also faces 1 count of indecent assault, 2 counts of corruption on minors, all first-degree misdemeanors, each punishable by up to 5 years in prison. And he was indeed arrested today. He is due to be arraigned before a judge in Bellefonte in the area of State College. And, of course, he also has that preliminary hearing coming up on the previous charges next Tuesday.
And Susan,
Randy?
let me ask you, because obviously we know we've been following his statements. He's made a series of public statements, at times looking very uncomfortable in front of the camera or even on the telephone with those interviewing him. Has he made, as far as you know, any statement today claiming his innocence, or has his lawyer come out and made any statement on his behalf?
I'm sorry, the last part of your question was?
Has his lawyer, has Sandusky or his lawyer come out claiming innocence yet again after these charges?
We're in the process of reaching out to his lawyer. That's the first thing that we're working on doing to see about any reaction. Certainly additional charges are not, were expected by his lawyer. His lawyer has said so publicly on a number of occasions. The Attorney General's office has said that it would continue to meet with victims, and they expected more alleged victims to come forward once the first series of allegations were made public.
And do we know he's due to be arraigned, you said, this afternoon? Do you expect that he would stay in jail after this, or do you think he will?
Well, that's an interesting question because, as we know, he was freed on bail after the first round of charges, and that did raise a number of eyebrows on the part of a number of people. It was controversial. It was also revealed that the judge in that particular case had some connection, having made donations in the past to the Second Mile program. So it is possible at this juncture that the prosecutors could ask the judge if they now believe, could make an argument possibly that he is now viewed as indeed a danger to other children, allegedly, or that he is a risk of flight. It's very likely that his lawyer would say he is not a risk of flight. He's in the area. He's not going anywhere. Everyone knows where they can find him. So if there is any argument to be made, it would likely be on the fact of whether he is now viewed by the Attorney General's office as a danger and either ask for an extremely high bond or no bond at all.